If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
I got to make sure I get the math together here, man. I got a guy that, a Lombardi guy, right? A disciple of, it's not often we get to touch guys, Luke, that were in the locker room with the man himself, right?
Well, you mentioned Super Bowl 49. This man played in Super Bowl 1 and 2. So,
and the Ice Bowl.
And as he was coming over, he was just saying, yeah, my last interview, they asked me if the Ice Bowl was cold.
Yeah, somebody asked me, how did you feel to play in the Ice Bowl? I said, I felt like a fudge sickle. It was so cold. It was the coldest I ever played, I tell you.
Oh. Dave Robinson, the Professional Football Hall of Fame man from the Green Bay Packers, joining us here to talk about something we talked a lot about this week. We've had some folks on from PastUSA.com in this movie, The United States of Football. No offense, this is a credit to you because I see all the gray coming in. That's the wisdom coming in. But you're one of the older gentlemen we've had here, and I'm assuming football, when you were a boy, coming up 50s and 60s and teaching people the game, a lot different than the game these days. The equipment, every part of the game.
Right.
And you look like you're doing all right for an old football player. You look healthy, man.
I look so deceiving, I tell you that. I'm not going to say healthy. But I did, and one of the reasons why I did this, it's addressed in this PastUSA.com, the film footage. The thing is, the league has evolved, has changed over the years, and it's not as safe as it used to be. And people think that now the game is safer because they have better equipment than when we played. No, that's not the truth. If you look at it, really, that's why guys my age, I played 20 years of football. The league says I played 4 years in high school, 4 years in college, and the league gave me credit for 12 years, which would be 20. I thought I played 21, but I went to 21 training camps, but that's another story. But
that's about the pension.
Yeah, pension is bad. I'll tell you that. Don't even ask about a pension. But in those 20 years, I don't think I ever had more than five helmet-to-helmet collisions because we weren't taught to tackle. You don't tackle a guy's head. Somewhere in this film, a guy's talking about when he killed the head and the body dies. That was something, a joke. It's like a joke in the locker room, but no one really meant it. And these guys now have taken that to heart. They're trying to kill the head. They're hitting the guys in the head. To make a tackle, you got to move a guy's center of gravity. I don't care what you do. If you don't move his center of gravity, he's not going down.
We were always taught when I was a kid, hit the legs. You take the legs out, take the belt, aim for the belt.
Well, the center of gravity is right around waist high. And the thing is, you're right. We were taught that, even the National Football League has a thing about heads up, where they say, heads up. If this shit hit face, they want your face right here, heads up, right? But look how close it is to the helmet.
Sure.
And if you make a mistake by that much, and both of it, it's helmet to helmet.
Well, especially at the speed the game's played at.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But now the way you should tackle is the way you taught when you were a kid. We're taught to put a head on the ball. The guy's got the ball here. My head's down here on the ball. Look at the distance, the separation between the helmets. And so they don't get that helmet-to-helmet collision. People didn't have it because people weren't tackling the way they are today. I think the problem is that the guys don't know how to tackle, and those guys are coaches. And they can't coach tackling the correct way. And so consequently, the tackling in the National Football League is deplorable. It's the worst I've ever seen. And everybody's stressing so much, ripping the ball out and everything. And they come to guys like this, like they're trying to kiss them or something. Take them to the Mayday dance and pull things out. Instead of taking their head, lowering their head, hitting the ball. Put your helmet on the ball's going to pop out. There's no doubt. You don't have to rip it out. You can make it pop out. And the thing that disturbs me the most, because I played for Vince Lombardi. Can you imagine telling Vince Lombardi that there was a stat in football, yards after contact? That dang number better be 0.
Right.
He told us he would allow 2 yards to carry. That's only if the running back was 6 foot tall. Because then when he falls, that's 6 foot is 2 yards. That's it.
Right.
But now these yards after contact are huge. Because these guys, the contact is so bad. And it's just a different game. And so somebody said, well, the game is safer now. This game is not safer now. They've eliminated things like clotheslining. Oh, that was something else. Head slaps.
Head slaps.
They just outlawed that.
The late, great Deacon Jones.
Yeah, Deacon couldn't play. Yeah, I saw Deacon head slap. You're allowed only one head slap, by the way, There's only one was legal. I saw Deacon hit a guy 3 times. And boom, 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 real quick. So fast you thought it was only one. But it was head slaps, and they protect the quarterback more now and everything else. But it's not, the game is not safer now.
Dave Robinson here, a Hall of Famer, Green Bay Packers, Super Bowl I, Super Bowl II. Do you hear Vince Lombardi's voice in your head? I feel like I hear Vince Lombardi's voice. The commercial a couple years ago where they channeled him and had the actor.
Right.
I mean, really kind of uncanny. I mean, everyone my age knows Vince Lombardi from video, but, I mean, he's a real guy to you.
He was, yeah. I'll tell you, and the worst thing was, people talk about Vince Lombardi, the coach. Just for a second, we'll talk about Vince Lombardi, the general manager. He was also coach and general manager. And when he retired, he said, no man can take both jobs. He's right. It's evolved way beyond one man doing both. But Vince Lombardi, the general manager, I'm a defensive guy, so I'm taking defense. He's the one that acquired 10 of our defensive players through trade or draft. 10 of them. The only one he didn't was Ray Nitschke. When he got there, Ray Nitschke was there when he got there, but Ray Nitschke was a wild man. And the people, the common thought in the town was they're going to get rid of Ray. Had to get him out of there. And Vince saw something in him, and he nurtured him. Ray used to drink, and he stopped drinking. Vince talked to him to quit drinking, became an ideal student of the game and a gentleman. And a legend. A legend, yeah. But all the other guys on the team, everybody else on the team, he either drafted or traded for. Not as the coach, but as the general manager. So he did very well as a general manager. And nobody else has done it. And he won 3 consecutive world championships.
Talking with Hall of Famer Dave Robinson, and you made it, 2 years ago, 2013, you were inducted?
Yes, sir.
Long wait. I mean, was there a point when your career ended that you thought you had a chance to make it, and then maybe a point where you thought, I guess it's just not going to happen?
Well, the point I thought I could make it was the day I retired.
Right.
Because you didn't do a damn thing for 40 years after.
Right.
38 years, yeah. But the selectors didn't think so. Mm-hmm. And then near the end, I thought, well, what'll probably happen if I do make it, it's going to be after I've passed on, and my son will have to accept the award, or I'll be like some other people I know who have suffered from Alzheimer's and whatnot, and don't know where you are, and slopping, and have to be rolled in on a wheelchair. And I didn't want either one of those two to happen. And so I was lucky enough to get in before I could still walk and talk and enjoy being a Hall of Famer, because it's the greatest thrill in life. This is the one team everybody wants to make. I don't care about the All-Pro team. I don't care about any other teams. The Hall of Fame is the one team that is the top team. If you're a football player, it's the top team you get on. And you can never be cut. You can never lead a team. And the thing is, there can never be a Hall of Fame All-Star team, because every man in the Hall of Fame is equal.
Sure.
Everybody had to get 80% of the votes to be there, and you can't say that Bart Starr is a better quarterback than Sammy Ball or anything else, because the Hall of Fame, what it measures is not how good you are compared to each other. It's how good you are compared to the people of your era.
Sure.
And for a quarterback, I think the only real criteria is how many championships you win. Bart Starr won 5 world championships in 7 years, and but that doesn't make him the top man. The top man is Otto Graham.
Sure.
He went to 10 consecutive world championships and won 7.
Crazy.
And people say, well, the game was different, but that was the game. That was his era. He beat the people who played the way he did under the rules he played under. Now you go up and beat the people you play against under your rules and win 10 out of 7, 7 out of 10, 10 out of 7, that's a hell of a deal. Win 7 out of 10, and I'll give you the same pat on the back. But that's how it is.
Or you can be Bill Belichick, just make your own rules.
Or change them.
Well, you mentioned quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Green Bay has a pretty good one right now with Aaron Rodgers. Disappointing not to see the Packers.
Right.
I mean, after they dominated Seattle for the first 55 minutes of that game. Yeah. Disappointing to see them not in Arizona this week.
I tell you, I think they got into a mode, a defense mode in the second half, trying to protect the lead instead of being aggressive.
Right.
Football is an aggressive game. You've got to be aggressive. If you're going to be protective or slow down and relax, you can't do that to the last 2 minutes of the game.
Right.
Because if you have a first down at the 2-minute warning, you can take a knee 3 times, the game's over. Then you can be protective. But up until that point, you got to be all out. You got to be aggressive. I told somebody, the only way to protect a 19-point lead is make it 26 points.
Sure.
And that's what you got to do. And that's what we failed to do. I say the Packers failed to do. They didn't. They lost their aggression. Even when they had the interception with 5 minutes to go in the game.
That was the moment for me where I thought, why not take the 25-yard return and at least get a field goal?
And yet, that's it.
Right.
And even Julius Peppers, who was a seasoned pro, he told the guy to lay down.
Right.
That's the worst thing he did. Like you said, he should at least fan the ball in the field goal range. It's possible 1 or 2 key blocks. He could run into it for a touchdown, and the game would have been over.
Absolutely.
Instead, he lays down.
And all the Cheeseheads would be out here this week, right?
Oh, and you'd love it, though.
Every time the Packers win the Super Bowl. I mean, for you being a Packer, and this is kind of cool because you grew up in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, right?
That's right.
The home of NFL Films.
NFL Films, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, I
was there first, though.
Well, right, yeah. Not many people were there before Sable, but I guess you were.
Steve was a good friend of mine.
Yeah, I mean, what a wonderful man he was, right? Yeah, we all do, I think.
Yeah,
and for you with the Packers and being a Packer all these years, seeing the ups and seeing the downs and all of that stuff, I guess the fans, being of that era, there aren't many people left that we can talk to that were in a locker room with Lombardi screaming at him, right? I mean,
that's right.
Tell us about Lombardi, just because there aren't many people you can ask
I'll
about
tell you,
him.
well, he was general manager, like I said, and I used to negotiate with Vince, and he had one-on-one on him. And one year, I remember I came in, and I wanted like $15,000 a raise, and Vince had offered me $5,000, and we started going back and forth. And I finally said, Coach, look, let's stop it right here. I'll tell you what. I love Green Bay as a city. Fans are the best in the world. I love the Packers. I even like you, Coach. And in fact, to show my appreciation, next year, I'll play all 14 games for nothing. I'll be here every Sunday and play, and you don't have to pay me a penny. But you got to pay me to come to practice. And so Vince looked at me and he chuckled, and then we got down to serious negotiation. I got 10.
Nice.
That's how it was, yeah. But that's it. But he's a fun guy. I mean, he thought he saw the humor in it. But I was dead serious.
I like that. That's a nice negotiating tactic.
Dave Robinson here, Hall of Famer, promoting the United States of football and past USA. We've heard so much about that. Kids playing football. Right. Recommend it?
Yes, I do. What I recommend is no responsible parent will just drop their kid off or child off. Kids are goats. Drop their child off, then go shopping or go to a bar or something and come back and pick them up. You got to experience. You got to go and check out the coach. If the coach is not follow the criteria, if the coach is doing something to your child or saying something to your child that you wouldn't do or say at home, then take your son out of that program and find a coach who is suitable.
I never heard that until recently. You know, that's a hell of a warning for people because
I would like to see it. I'd like to see a standardized accreditation for all, because they're very informative years. Very informative years.
Yeah. And it's tough because at the youth level, I mean, you don't have paid coaches for the most part.
And this is a guy who was a school teacher.
Right.
Dealt with children.
I taught fifth grade for 5 years. I mean, many areas it's tough finding coaches, but the education piece is so critical, as you mentioned, because guys playing at the collegiate level, NFL, you're not going to fix them as tacklers. It has to start at the youth level.
As a fifth grade teacher, you know how easy you can form a kid's mind.
Absolutely.
Take a child's mind. You can make him direct him any way you want. And that's the thing. I went to one of somebody named Nameless. My son went to his little league coach, and the guy who came in, he was ramping and howling at the kids and everything else. He came to me, he says, I ain't like my style. I coach like Vince Lombardi. And I said, yeah. I said, yeah, but when Vince hollered at me, I was 23 years old. My kid is 8.
Right.
And you're not going to holler at my son like that. I said, in fact, he's gone. And I took him out of that program, went down and went into another league. Because any idiot that thinks that he can treat my son at 8 years old like Vince Lombardi treated me at 23, I don't want him coaching my son. And I don't want that obscene language around my son. It was forbidden in my house. We didn't use it, my wife and I. No one's allowed to use it in the home. Why should I send him to a coach that's going to cuss or swear? Right. And because that coach is an authority symbol to your kid. And just like a school teacher. Sure. And a coach and a school teacher can mold your child. So you got to be very careful. And that's what I'm telling all the parents. Don't worry about all the things you read about concussions, everything else. The key is find yourself a coach that's going to teach your kid the correct way to block and tackle, who's got your son's, has your son's welfare in mind, and take care of it. And if he's not that way, in every city there's going to be more than one youth league. Find a coach that does fit those criteria. That's what I like to see, a standardized thing where all coaches had to be accredited on a statewide, a nationwide, I hope, where they have to say, I coach the correct way, I do this and whatnot, and then you know.
Hall of Famer Dave Robinson here for the Green Bay Packers, and appreciate the visit, man.
The pleasure's all mine.
Oh, it's absolutely.
They
The
say I
United
go to
States.
Baltimore. You know, I used to work Baltimore, long and hard. I used to, we didn't make a whole lot of money, so during the off season, I worked for a beer company. Yeah,
There was a lot of that going on.
Schlitz beer.
Oh, you and Artie Donovan.
Artie Donovan. He's my biggest customer.
He drank all the profits.
No.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.